Hey everyone, it's Dinah, and we are back with more of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This time on to episode 19 of season 5, veering somewhat close to the end. And I think, honestly, probably, at long last, very close to the end, given how long it's actually taken me to probably get through the season, at long last, very close to the end. But yeah, episode 19, so I think this one is 22 episodes, I think, I'm pretty sure, and also the final season to be that way, which I've mentioned a few times. Every couple of reactions I've done, I've actually mentioned this. So yeah, anyway, episode 19. So I honestly can't tell if, looking back, I can't help but wonder if it might have been the end of an arc, like of an equal arc. Because I think we did spend, it definitely did feel like we actually spent like a good few episodes in within the arcs, maybe somewhat similar to season 4, like maybe having 3 arcs. Like I think it kind of feels that way, because I think arc one kind of being, they're called pods, but I still call them arcs. So like pod 1 being the Kasaya stuff and the future and the Kree and everything, and then pod 2 being Ruby and aspiration to be the destroyer of worlds and to gain that power, and Hale trying to stop her, but then still trying to recruit Daisy as the destroyer and all that kind of stuff happening. But then now, given how the last episode ended off, like I think that kind of stuff has kind of been ended / shifted. So now we're potentially moving on to something else going forward too, because we had Ruby die. Ruby died. I think Yo-Yo came in at the end and managed to use one, like what little kind of energy that she had left from her arms kind of backfiring and backlashing against her, to actually kind of like use Ruby's own blade against her and just slit her throat wide open and leave her gushing on the blood and everything, and dying in her mother's arms and stuff. So we had that. So now with Ruby dead, I think that's her journey ended, and even Hale kind of went ahead and just sold S.H.I.E.L.D. out to the I was going to say the colonnades thingy. Confederacy, to the I would say Confederation, so that would probably still work, but the Confederacy, because especially after Yo-Yo being a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, she herself actually got her own back on Ruby after what she did to her. She killed Ruby, so then pretty much, that left Hale and also May and Daisy actually conducted that kind of little kind of mission of taking down the one Hydra base left that was pretty much Hale's one, and then actually took her in from there and everything. So because of that, I think Hale pretty much has nothing left to fight for. So I think now, whether or not she'll be allowed to ally with the Confederacy, whether or not the Confederacy will actually take her in or even let her kind of anywhere near their operations, is like a question to be asked. But then she, like, what they want, she's given them because she knows that S.H.I.E.L.D. has access to Inhuman information and all that kind of stuff. So if the Confederacy wants Inhumans, then S.H.I.E.L.D. then they can take that from S.H.I.E.L.D. And now S.H.I.E.L.D. especially has the Gravitonium too. So or at least what's left of it and everything. So the Gravitonium and Inhumans and everything, just other stuff in exchange for protection from the Confederacy, is what the Confederacy wants from Earth and everything. So yeah, with nothing left to lose, she sold them out and everything. So now they're going to have to fight the Confederacy, probably maybe slightly earlier than they might have, because I've been wondering maybe if the Confederacy might be our kind of like our first glimpse at like Cassius before, like if maybe Cassius might be a part of the Confederacy, maybe like maybe if that's something that's yet to be unveiled, so then maybe then if like maybe if we might not see him, but then if we actually kind of like if we hear about him kind of like if we hear about the Confederacy's true plans being like an invasion or like a takeover of Earth, after whatever happens, and maybe then Cassius' name might get dropped, and then that might be what leads into the Kree kind of takeover of the Earth after Earth gets destroyed. But now we know that like chances are, I mean, assuming that Daisy isn't still kind of destined to be the destroyer, maybe then the Earth won't be destroyed. So then, but if that is the case, but then the Confederacy is still destined to take over the Earth, and they might just kind of do it themselves, or kind of like still plot some invasion on like a still intact Earth or something. So anything could happen. But I am wondering if like to kind of bring it full circle and to kind of like hint at that past, like that future still possibly happening, we might get some kind of a Cassius reference. So it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, Ruby's gone. Ruby killed Alex, and Yo-Yo killed Ruby. Ruby kind of absorbed 8% of the Gravitonium, which is about as much as she could take without screaming even more and possibly even dying. So that was as much as she could take. But then even that one still got to her and everything. So she still had the same side effect as Creel, where the voices were in her head, and she could hear Dr. Hall and Quinn arguing back and forth. But then they were getting louder, and even in Creel's head, they were getting louder too. So that was that whole thing. But then she actually had gravitonian powers. She actually kind of pinned people up against the wall, like Fitzsimmons. She pulled them up against the wall. But then Alex didn't fully crush it, but still like little corners and stuff of his head, like actually crushed it enough to make his eyes pop out and bleed him from the inside out, and just kind of make him collapse. Like by the end, there was no chance of him actually still being left alive. So did enough damage to kill him, but then not so much that his head was actually non-existent, but just very, very dented and stuff. So, and yeah, I mean, given what Ruby's powers were and how somewhat similar they were to Daisy's thing. I do remember Daisy did like a similar-ish thing with what's his name, Malik, in season 3. I think I don't know if she actually crushed him to that same extent, but then she did similarly kind of bruise him and actually kind of injure him from the outside inwards, actually kind of like crush it, like crunching his body inwards and everything, but then covering up the fact that it was Quake powers that killed him by the one, because then she was under Hive's influence, so then she covered up that kind of damage with even more extensive damage using a bomb and everything. So that happened, but I think from what we saw from Ruby, I think her powers did look somewhat similar to Quake's, but arguably kind of more lethal and everything. So there was that. So then, Yo-Yo's kind of line of reasoning for having killed her, being like, you know what, I didn't kill her. I actually just saved. Well, she did kill her, but then in doing so, she actually saved the world. Because then that then felt like it actually raised a question of like, you know, maybe she did. Because then if Ruby's powers are similar to Daisy's, and then she herself is so intent on destroying the world, or at least becoming the destroyer of worlds as her mother, so kind of eagerly kind of promotes and everything, then maybe then she is the one who, in like an outburst or some kind of demonstration of power gone awry, maybe she's the one who actually breaks the world apart. But then, you know, Daisy's the one still caught on camera, but maybe that could be something else. And then, you know, just anything could happen. But then Ruby could be the actual destroyer of worlds. But then people don't really know Daisy as much as they know Ruby. So then Agent Daisy Johnson of S.H.I.E.L.D. is the one who's known to be Quake and everything. And then of course she's caught on camera. So could be any kind of like a switcheroo thing kind of happening there. So maybe then in the act of getting like an actual vengeance kill against Ruby, Yo-Yo also ends up saving the world. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of topic is also kind of because then now that led Hale to then sell S.H.I.E.L.D. out to the Confederacy, who's God knows how big they are, how strong they are, how much power they have and everything, and how S.H.I.E.L.D. can hold their own against them and everything. So could ultimately lead to a number of different lines of questioning. So I guess we can only find out soon enough. So yeah, Talbot was in a spot of trouble too. He was given a mission by Hydra through their kind of programming, to their compliance program and everything. So he had to either pick up Robin's drawings and decipher them and actually find a specific prophecy, or he just had to take Robin to Hydra himself. And so he did. He tried to. He choked out Polly, and then Mac and Coulson caught on because the camera was glitching and everything. So they caught on, managed to save Robin. And then Mac managed to take him out with an ISA and everything. So yeah, but I think Talbot himself is in a spot of trouble. So I think they actually have to help him by getting the Hydra programming out of his head and actually kind of maybe isolating him or actually helping him through whatever's kind of happening next. So yeah, I think now the next big bad may well just be actually kind of facing off against the Confederacy, seeing what they have, seeing what their plans are, seeing what they intend to do and everything. So should be an interesting next few episodes. So yeah, we managed to confirm what we kind of had an idea about all along anyway, especially since like a couple of episodes ago with their Deke having a crush on Daisy. So then Mac also outed him to Coulson and everything, so there was that. He tried asking Mac and Coulson for advice, but then they had enough label-related trouble going on in their lives that then confirmed to them that they were not viable sources of actual accurate information. So then, you know, I am all the more curious if he will ask Fitz or something, but then Fitz, did I say Fitz or Fisk? I feel like I said Fisk, but I don't know. Because I was thinking Fisk in my head because they sound somewhat similar. But no, not Fisk. I mean, he does love his wife, but definitely not Fisk, not Wilson Fisk. Fitz, to ask Fitz, his own grandfather, about knowing Fitz. I don't know if he actually might take him seriously or if he might just kind of laugh him off or even actually, you know, just like maybe even knowingly just like bash his own grandson. Maybe if you might knowingly like chastise his own grandson, being like, oh, she's way out of your league and you know, are not at all her type and all that kind of stuff. Or if you actually might give him some sound advice, but then maybe like give it to him in like a really begrudging way or something. So I don't know, because then, you know, obviously Deke and Gemma just about get along because I think she knows he's the future and he's their future, and that means that they survive, and and she also doesn't actually mind him and everything. But then Fitz just kind of finds him just damn near insufferable and just thinks he's annoying and just can't really handle him that much. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see who he goes to. I mean, could also go to Gemma as well. Actually, to talk to another woman and get her perspective on it. And I think her and Daisy being best friends too. You know, would also be a very, very valid and very, very viable kind of source of information. So Deke also had his own, based on his own experience in the future, I think he had his own idea about actually getting her a bunch of lemons. Or he said it, like, he said, you know, like in his time, if you're interested in someone, then you showed them that using lemons. But then Coulson was like, oh yeah, just get a bunch of lemons. So he's either gonna ask Fitzsimmons, or he's gonna do the lemons, or he's gonna do both. So I don't know. He might do the lemons just to test if it works or not, and then he actually might confess that it was him to Fitzsimmons, and then he might actually kind of like, you know, if the lemons don't work, then he might actually ask Fitzsimmons or something. But I don't know. Truth be told, I can't fully see them going anywhere with this, but it's still fun to watch. I think at the very least it's still fun to watch and everything. But it's been shown to be a little more than like a classic kind of schoolboy crush. Like I think he really doesn't really kind of know her that well to begin with, and then also like their introduction is not really the best kind of backstory for any kind of like a love story between them. So it's fun to watch, but it's highly unlikely that anything fruitful is actually going to come out of it. So yeah, but I guess we'll see. So yeah. But that is pretty much all I have from the last episode for now. So on to episode number 19 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5. So yeah, let's go. Space. The final frontier.
Slingshot the gravitonium at high velocity into the sun.
They're gonna throw the gravitonium into the sun. Can they do that?
But I've been talking to Tony Kane.
What, my Tony? Candyman?
He's arranged for Creel.
I forgot he was called that.
He says he could take care of Robin and Polly for now.
Great, do it.
Whatever happened to Hunter and Bobby? They were taking care of them. Whatever happened to them? What did they do?
All I did was kill the person called the Destroyer of Worlds.
That's what Daisy was called. We're lucky you didn't cut her throat.
Just stop, Deke. The point is, you don't make that decision. Then who does? Well, we didn't pick you. Coulson made that decision and brought you back when he could have broken that loop right there.
All right, stop it.
Imagine the other agents outside of the inner circle just being like, you guys are dysfunctional as fuck. Just the other agents, their background, like not even Piper or Davis, just everyone else.
So is this normal?
The weird mission?
Yeah.
Fighting? That's new.
Oh god. Everyone else is like, what the fuck did we come back to? Like, you guys with the framework and now this? Gosh. The framework, then the future, and now just familial dysfunction.
But not according to the multiverse theory. I'm not sure you actually know what multiverse
We took a multiverse?
is.
Let me hear it.
That every choice we make spins out a different timeline into the cosmos, and right now there are infinite parallel universes.
Mm-hmm.
But I am proof that you can move between them. Or
You are?
you are proof that we are in one timeline in a loop.
You're from the future, though.
Unchangeable. I lived in one timeline, but now I live in this new one, and I think I'm gonna stay in the one with the sun
Surely.
and tacos and all that.
He's not born because the Earth's destroyed.
We won't know if we're successful at changing the future unless you blink out of existence.
Oh, what?
Gemma agrees. Just
Would that really be the case? Would we lose Deke if we save the Earth?
I think I might.
I'm Air Force Phil. I know enough about navigational aids to know that every hangar has a landing.
The landing assist beacon.
Was he activating it so that they know where to land?
Signal out.
Oh, so that way the
4-3.
Confederacy knows how to land,
9462.
maybe.
-76.
Oh, balls, that is a good shot. Yeah, I love that, that's a good shot. That's a terrifying shot, but it's a good shot. Oh, gosh. Damn, that's a good looking ship. Oh, I love that title card. Huh. Yeah, so the Earth, that stuff is gone, and the Earth cracking stuff is gone. Really dead.
Extreme weather event. Press 1.
Agent Coulson, I can't silence
How
the
about an
alarms.
alien invasion?
If you're experiencing a nuclear attack, press 2.
They could have nukes.
Screw it.
For an alien invasion,
Oh
press 3.
shit! You
You
need
selected
to.
nuclear attack.
Fuck me, you
Your
need to
own
wait,
health,
you need to
safety,
wait.
and radiation protection.
Also, I do
All
appreciate they actually have alien
remain
invasion, like for
sealed
when they
15
were
years.
when they created this thing.
Just say 15 years?
How was I supposed to know there would be an alien invasion
Yeah.
option?
You always
You-
listen to the whole
You
menu.
need to
Always.
wait. Patience, Coulson. Oh gosh. Again, for when this was created, you have to appreciate they had like an alien invasion option. Because Captain Marvel was in the 90s. I'm pretty sure aliens didn't fully invade until then.
Oh, and technical malfunction. White House thinks we're under nuclear
A
attack.
technical malfunction, as in Coulson being impatient.
15 years. Ish. The lighthouse survives the earth cracking apart, so one flying saucer.
That one
probably
dude just
no
being
big deal.
perpetually confused the entire episode. I'm here for it.
All
I'm
lighthouse
here for it.
survival.
There's this giant ship in its atmosphere, and I'm thinking in the current political climate, it won't be long before you're blown out of the sky.
Yes, true.
How can you not want that girl to suffer for what she did?
I wanted to beat her senseless, but that's not what we do. That's not us.
You say that to me? Because she made the tough choice to save lives.
We saw what happened when she
In
did.
the framework, you saw the alternative.
We swore we wouldn't lose ourselves.
I know. You need to trust that I know what I'm doing. You know I may run away, but I always come back to where I started.
Just don't know if I'll be here when you do.
I can't tell you if what you did was right or wrong. That's up to you to decide.
Yeah, it's also a good point.
But
Yeah.
it doesn't just change you, it changes how people see you. And the only thing you can do is make peace with it.
Are these bounty hunters?
Robin said Coulson puts the pieces back together.
No, but didn't she say that
We haven't lost yet. And as far
the
as we
kid was
know,
the key?
they can't get it.
Oh, they have a machine. They have the same machine. Oh shit. Oh. Whoa. They look like Sith Lords, kind of. Or like Darth Mauls at least, at first glance. Ooh. Can you not crawl further back into the vents? That's still really close to. Oh. Oh. Oh god. R.I.P. dude. Is this how they're gonna get rid of the outer circle of agents? Just have them slaughtered by the Kree?
Everything's
So they just take from others, and wherever they go, darkness follows.
That's a little vague.
Well, it's not the concept of darkness, it's literal darkness. It follows them because they're magic,
Darkness.
and they can see in the dark, and we can't, so it makes them kill us better.
how your arms feeling?
Fitz recalibrated them, so I'm like new.
Recalibrate,
because we
good.
also need to get Talbot out of lockup.
Drew me a picture of a blue lady juggling someone's balls.
Ah, Sinara.
sure they were her balls.
Aliens, you know?
Nice. Well, hey, you never know.
All
There
this
could
weird
be,
stuff
yeah.
happening in New York.
Who knows how extravagantly gender works in space.
Agent Johnson. Secret sauce. All
GH.
kinds of ingredients. He called it centipede.
Oh, the
serum.
centipede serum. Oh,
I
okay.
think Garrett's cocktail had an extra healing component that was designed and developed by the Nazis. So that's
By Hydra?
impossible to get. And I can't find it on any map.
What's the element and what's the place?
That's because it's not a place.
Well, keep us in suspense, why don't you? Oh, what's an element? Oh. Well, we know the Hydra. I mean, most likely Hydra. They messed around with a lot of weird shit. So.
Okay, look, there's no need for that. We're fine. I'll comply. I'll disobey. I'll
Cooperate.
cooperate.
There we go. Well, then cooperate with handcuffs. I mean, at the very least, they're helping to conserve power, right? Oh, night vision. Oh! Oh, no. Oh, wall running? Really? And floor crawling? Oh, a fire extinguisher? That's interesting. Maybe overwhelming them with mist, maybe. Oh, giving them visions too? Maybe he shows them where stuff is.
All of you see where you're going.
Flashlights, icers,
Radios.
they'll be useless.
Eventually comms might shut down.
Just try and find something combustible.
Or do what Deke did. Overwhelm them with the...
I always wanted to say that.
I mean, the fire extinguisher did work, right? It did actually overwhelm it with mist, maybe.
There's so much I haven't seen. I haven't seen the ocean. I haven't seen the Great Wall. I haven't seen Orlando.
What happened to your multiverse? Thought you were everywhere all at once.
Shut up.
You're everything, everywhere, all at
It's a miracle you
once.
survived all that with just one scar.
Lights. Camera. Action! Oh, okay, it's them, okay.
Sorry, Jem, I never should have left your side.
Wait, Deke, has he blinked out of existence?
No, he's still here.
No, he's still here.
Then we're good.
As long as Deke is...
They're coming out.
As long as he doesn't get back to the future, he's good, you know?
Viper.
What about muzzle flash from the guns? Would that count? Because it's power, right? It's actual electricity they can cut out.
you and I are the last
But muzzle
time.
flashes. Ooh. Hello there. Ooh. Go for the head, please, for the love of God. With these guys, go for the head. Go for the head. Oh shit, 3 heads.
I couldn't see them, but I could feel them all around me. We're outnumbered. Stay behind me.
Simmons, failure. Do you read? Do not proceed to control. We are surrounded. I repeat, we are surrounded.
Oh God, this is terrifying.
Stay back.
I can fix this.
No, Talbot, don't go in there. Oh God, Talbot, God, no. Talbot, no. How much is he gonna take? 100? He's gonna go the full Monty? He's gonna go 100? Can he take that? How can he possibly take that? All that Gravitonium in one fucking man. 100%. Ruby crushed Alex's skull. Talbot can probably atomize people.
I like cocktail of potassium and a dash of sugar.
Sugar? Very flammable.
Got
Which
it.
I think sugar is anyway, yeah.
Don't worry, Gramps. If they want the Gravitonium,
They're gonna go through me. Deke, whatever happens next, never call me Gramps again.
That classic Scottish angst.
This will work
sass.
without electricity.
Who's gonna come first though? Talbot? Like Gravi-Talbot? Or the assassins? I can't come up with a better name than Gravi-Talbot, I'm sorry. Oh gosh, oh gosh. All around him, all around him. Has he got batons?
They're everywhere, just like I said. Just hold steady.
Oh god. Oh, has he got Bobby's batons? Has he got Bobby's batons? Oh shit, they're on top of you. Oh. Oh yeah, oh, up top. Up top. Oh, that's a cool flip.
They're coming from outside.
Oh, they're even outside the control room too. How many of them are there?
No, nobody can reach anybody. It doesn't mean that she's...
Who was that? Was that Talbot?
What was that?
Oh yeah, that's one of the assassins, isn't it? It's barely made out alive. Talbot! Grab it, Talbot! Fucking Gravitonium Talbot, 100%. He's 100% himself. Good. Oh, that's a cool shot, just closing on each other. Yeah. Just walks in like a boss. Just with boss music playing. Damn. He actually looks kind of buff too. I don't know if he's just puffing his shoulders out or if he's actually... Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh, he's atomizing them. He's just scrunching them up into little balls. That is fucking atomization. God. Is he gonna get voices too? Because he already has voices and just different minds. How much worse is he gonna be?
I told you I could fix this.
Is he raising the roof? Oh, he's raising the roof. He's raising the roof. And Coulson too. Gosh.
Congratulations, you have survived the nuclear apocalypse.
Something
The
worse
planet
might be coming
is
though.
Safe again.
I wouldn't guarantee it. Something worse might be coming. Damn, that was a fucking killer scene. That was a killer ending. An absolutely killer ending. Jeez. Who's she unearthing? Is it Garrett's grave? Jia-Ying! Her own mother! What's in there that she needs? Is it Terrigen crystals? Is it Terrigen maybe? Something to do with Terrigens? Could it be Terrigen crystals? Would that be like the secret? Well, no, they wouldn't experiment with that, would they? I don't know. I don't think so. So that episode was just you know, ever so slightly terrifying. Ever so slightly terrifying. I think with the whole kind of self-contained to the lab aspect of it too, I can't lie, it did, maybe this might even be like a thing to me as well, like the way I consumed it, the way I perceived it upon first watching everything, did kind of give me self-control vibes ever so slightly, but I think in terms of like but that being in terms of like the kind of self-containment of it, to the lighthouse, the quality of the episode, the writing, the pacing, the kind of, you know, the fear factor and everything that it had, it was just so well done. I think towards the end, I genuinely actually felt all the more fearful and stuff. Like the lead up was good, but then like the last, I'd say like the last kind of 10-15 minutes and everything, like once it kind of switched over fully to to Coulson and company in the control room and everything, that's when like it really started to feel like shit was hitting the fan and all that kind of stuff. So just this again, I think this definitely felt like the kind of beginning to a new arc too, and I was getting like a whole new title card and everything too. Like I think usually title cards have always been like a good enough indicator to like a special story taking place, or like a, you know, like the introduction to a new arc happening and everything. So yeah, now I think I'm guessing it must mean that the kind of Earth being destroyed, like that whole storyline is probably over and done with and everything. It might still get destroyed in like a different way, but just maybe not actually getting cracked apart and splintered and everything. So honestly, I can't help but just enjoy and actually find amusing the kind of the perpetual kind of confusion that the outer circle of agents are always in. Like I think the inner circle being Coulson and his kind of personal crew just kind of being at each other's throats and in constant disagreement and in constant dysfunction and everything, and then ending off with Agent Kim, I think his name was, asking Davis like, are they always like this? Are they always at each other's throats and barely capable of functioning together as a team as they should be and everything? Yeah, because I think they probably haven't fought to this extent before. I think the last time I can remember something like this happening was with season 4, like with Daisy having left the team after the hive stuff, and after losing Lincoln, I think she separated herself from the team and went her own way and stuff, and then when she came back, I think different team members had different ideas on how to deal with her return, and but also what she did to begin with anyway. So that's the thing. That's the last time I can remember it. And then I think there was the big fight back in season 2 as well. Like after they came out of them, after Daisy got her powers, but then after Trip died and the city collapsed and everything, that one kind of got them at each other's throats. So it's a very occasional thing. It's a very occasional thing. I think it usually happens after major events, after major team shattering events kind of happen, which then makes sense. If they're arguing every other episode, then probably kind of, you know, be like a more of a question of like, you know, how do they get everything done? But with this one, it's usually after the team goes through something that's either internal or external conflict that they usually kind of like kind of can't really kind of focus or can't really kind of compile themselves or anything. So they're now being an outer circle of agents too, I think, because I think we haven't really kind of I feel like we haven't properly seen the outer circle of agents and like since the 100 since the 100th episode thing, where like the where they dealt with the rift and Deke brought Davis back and Deke brought Deathlock back and everything, and he actually brought in like a whole crew. Like since then, I feel like we haven't properly seen them besides from Piper and Davis. So now we actually get to see them, and so, I mean, granted, at least half of them did still die in this, so they did kind of bring them back ever so slightly to be cannon fodder, but it was still good to kind of see them and to have them kind of be part of this in some way. So, you know, I mean, even for the show being Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., there are understandably and probably even rightfully so very, very specific agents that they've been kind of actually focusing on and actually crafting stories around and crafting character arcs around and everything. So it's fun to have the outrages, because then it still kind of helps to kind of hold up the belief that S.H.I.E.L.D. is still trying to be what it used to be and actually trying to fight for the same things with as many people as it can actually kind of bring together. But then at the end of the day, the threats they face are still as grave and as lethal as they are. So that means that literally not every agent's going to make it. So they still have some disposable employees out there, which honestly admittedly isn't the greatest way to put it. You know, this is literally an intelligence agency that is, you know, barely functioning with what little resources they have and everything. So they'll take whatever help they can get, but then that also means that very same help, and even agents from the inner circle need to be willing to actually put their lives on the line and actually accept the possibility of death and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, but that opening alone was really great. But then yeah, seeing half of them kind of getting slowly picked up one by one towards the end, not so much, but that's the life. So yeah. Yeah, I love like how like 90% of this episode's kind of containment and self-containment was due to Coulson just being impatient as fuck. Like, because I mean, it was so obvious they were actually like, you know, it was like I feel like I feel like it was really obvious that they were leading to more than two options, and he just picked the second one because then you know. But that I feel like maybe it's also him thinking that like due to their time, maybe alien invasion probably wouldn't be an option, so they had to pick the closest one. But then surprise, surprise, as soon as he actually hits nuclear invasion, it's like, oh, alien invasion, they actually have one for that. So then it leaves you all the more curious, like, okay, what would their alien invasion thing be? Especially for them being from, I can't remember what time period he mentioned when they came back, what year, like the lighthouse and all of this kind of things were actually implemented. But whatever time it was implemented in, clearly before the 1990, like it was like a pre-1990s thing. Like, just makes you all the more curious. Okay, for that time period, what would their alien invasion things actually be? Because then it would be really funny if he actually did go for alien invasion, but then it's still that probably kind of wouldn't actually keep up. So then maybe nuclear invasion would, ironically enough, actually be what they would need to actually fight off an alien invasion. So then I don't know, but yeah, the self-contained, because then I wonder then maybe if it was like a conscious decision writing wise to actually go with that, or maybe if it was like an actual budget issue, like maybe they actually didn't have the budget to make this one be extravagant with the alien invasion safeguarding protocol, or maybe if like you know, like so because of that they had to go with the one that would actually shut down and lock down the base and everything and keep everyone inside. So you know, could either be a budget issue, or maybe just them kind of consciously deciding to save budget so that way they could actually go all out for the finale or like for the coming episodes. So then that way keeping this on stuff, because then they have no problem executing them in any regard. Like their past kind of more self-contained episodes have been all really well executed on pretty much all fronts. So they can definitely handle it, and the fact that they can handle it also shows that they know how to do it, and maybe even like stories like this always kind of work so well because of how they do it. So maybe they even enjoy it that much more too. So it feels so in character for Coulson too, him just actively just kind of like either thinking or just being impatient as all hell, and actually just kind of thinking like you'd still wait until the actual until the menu actually finishes. Then even him, due to technical malfunctions and everything, we're going to be stuck in like a nuclear lockdown for the next 15 years. So just honestly said, probably one of the best ways probably one of the best ways to instigate that entire thing. Just Coulson being impatient, even Mace scolding him towards the end. Like, you always wait for the end of the menu. You always wait until the menu ends and everything. So just everything about that was great. Everything about that was really on point and everything. So yeah, nuclear invasion. So a tip from Coulson himself to everyone who uses the lighthouse in the future: wait until you hear all the options and everything. And that goes for almost any menu out there. Just wait until you hear all the options and then make a much more informed decision. So what May's advice. Well, I think more than anything, I actually kind of really liked that. I really liked and I really agreed with May's advice too, because I think hers was also speaking from personal experience, but then hers was also kind of speaking from the experience of actually having done something questionable and probably horrible too for the greater good, because then arguably Ruby also was actually much older than the little girl from Bahrain, but still she was someone with it like a pretty much the same kind of parallel, like a girl with immense power who had no idea how to control it and had no idea how to use it properly. And stuff. And I think the girl from Bahrain too, I think she also was kind of under the influence of her power too, because I think she also wanted to connect and actually did feel the connection that she had with other people, and I think maybe she thought that was something good or something harmless or something, but then, you know, it wasn't probably translating. So then for her, she probably didn't directly see her powers as harmless or as lethal or as anything negative. So then with her and Ruby, I think that there might have been that similarity too. But then with Ruby, the only other kind of negative side effect was actually her having the voices in her head and having that kind of pain her and torment her and everything. So yeah, kind of pretty damn simple. I think also, I think if you look back to with Ruby, she had been weaponized and indoctrinated her entire life. Like, her mother literally weaponized her pretty much from birth. I think she was born because of Hydra, because Hydra pretty much used her mother to actually kind of birth like a new Hydra warrior and everything, but then Hale then made it her personal mission to actually take down Hydra and then remold it into something that she needed, and then she weaponized Ruby from birth to become this unstoppable kind of insane kind of warrior. And even then she treated Ruby as like an incomplete and incompatible project her entire life, and then as soon as she found Daisy Johnson, she almost pretty much straight away just kind of threw Ruby aside, or even actually kept comparing Ruby to Daisy. But then in the end, she still tried to actually convince Coulson to give them Daisy for the machine instead. So looking back, if you think about it, I feel like you probably can at least consider the conclusion that Ruby actually did deserve a lot better. Even Daisy saw it. Even Daisy actually saw it. Like she thought that Ruby had skills and qualities, and with the right kind of training, with the right kind of direction and guidance and level of kind of mentorship and everything, she likely would make like an actual good shield agent and stuff. I think probably would take longer because of like how much kind of crap that Hale indoctrinated her with from birth and everything. Probably would take longer because of that. But then ultimately, I think maybe even with Daisy as her mentor, Ruby could have been something great and everything. So probably wouldn't have directly worked because then thingy Yo-Yo would still have actually held that kind of grudge against her for what she did and stuff. So, but I think there also is definitely like a kind of a statement to be made about the fact that pretty much like damn near everyone in this show has some kind of blood on their hands. Like everyone at some point or another has actually definitely killed someone. Coulson crushed Ward's chest. On Marveth, he literally crushed Ward's chest in, and that led to Hive. That actually led to Hive because then that was like a fresh new body, a fresh dead body for Hive to actually populate and then actually bring to Earth. And then Hive went on to create to wreak even more chaos, to wreak even more havoc across the Earth and everything. So May discover the alternative of actually of actually saving the girl in Bahrain in the framework, but then that led to hundreds more deaths in the framework that then led to Hydra's rise to power and everything. So then in the real world she still killed her, I think, and we saw in season 2 and a bit and also a bit of season but mainly season 2 exactly what kind of backlash that would lead to, like the personal backlash on May and even the outward backlash on the Inhumans and like Jia-Ying, like the kind of Shield versus Inhumans conflict that would lead to and all that kind of stuff. So everyone on the ship has actually done stuff. Everyone on the team has done stuff that they're not proud of and everything. And I feel like maybe this might just be Yo-Yo's turn to deal with that too. I think maybe that might be the direction they're going for. Like obviously we're gonna have this conflict because of what happened and because of people disagreeing with what Yo-Yo did, and I think Yo-Yo having to kind of defend herself and justify her actions. But I think this might be, to my awareness, I think Yo-Yo really kind of hasn't really kind of done anything else that's been too drastic or too rash or too emotional or anything like that. So then this might just be kind of her turn and her chance to actually deal with that and to deal with that kind of character kind of building and character kind of turning kind of arc that she gets and everything. So then she gets to join that pantheon of characters who have kind of made morally kind of grey or morally kind of questionable kind of decisions and everything. So off the bat, I definitely kind of agree with May's perspective all the more too, like the fact that like for one thing it's definitely kind of her choice to kind of decide exactly how she wants to go about justifying what she did, but then also just to be aware of the fact that she probably is going to have to deal with, but then also probably can't change the way that people see her now after what she's done too. So Ruby did say like she would keep kind of dismembering Daisy's friends until she got to Daisy's, and she definitely kind of had the intention of actually doing that to Ruby, to Yo-Yo, and to anyone else from S.H.I.E.L.D. who got in her way and everything. So she was on like a mission to find Daisy and to kind of use her to boost herself up, and she was willing to cut down anyone who stood in her way, and literally. So because of her personal history with Ruby, I think it definitely kind of feels like because of that she has so much more to prove in terms of actually having acted as an agent in the line of heavy duty and fire, and in the line of like in the face of near extinction and in the face of destruction too. She has to make the hard call, and possibly even that way, possibly even actually risky. Because then I mean, like when you watch that scene, you can literally see her looking at Ruby with utter contempt and disdain and the need for vengeance too. But then it's not really until the end that she actually declares, oh, I might have actually to save the world. So then because of that, could either actively choose to, or maybe could be leaning into that kind of compulsion to accuse her of actually having been emotional and impulsive and actually having kind of made like such a rash decision. But then even then Ruby was powered by Gravi-Talbot, so one wrong step and she could literally crush your head just like she did to Alex and everything. So one wrong step and she could send you flying back out the door or back out the window or something. So there was really like in that moment too, there was like almost no way to fully approach her in a way that she probably wouldn't kind of take as hostility. So they addressed it very rarely too. Like I think the one time they actually did address it too was May and Daisy running their own private mission to actually kind of to try and save Coulson, regardless of how he felt about it. But then Yo-Yo had no idea, so then she thought like, oh, so then it seems like no one else is really talking about it, so then maybe then people might have then accepted like that Coulson is about to die. But then no, it's not until now that they're just going to bring it up again. So then now Yo-Yo then knows that, oh, so now May and Daisy are actively trying to find a way to save Coulson, and they have been this entire time, so that means that it was all for nothing, because then if Coulson lives, then the Earth's future is sealed in the way that it was. So now to then did this final pod might then be that then, so they're actually dealing with like a fucking Gravitonium Talbot, and then the Confederacy as well, and then now also dealing with whether or not to actually going to save Coulson with whatever the hell Daisy finds in Jiang's grave and everything. So Daisy and May might be the next ones to blame, because they went against Coulson's orders, and they went and actually kind of conducted their own mission that might then put the rest of the team in jeopardy or at risk, or might do something else. So or they might uncover even more and stuff that might work in their favour or against their favour or something. So I don't know, it's all a whirlwind now, it's all a whirlwind, so, yeah. And then, yeah, there was some kind of, some stuff regarding Deke and the multiverse and everything, so one more mention of the multiverse and its actual definition. So, I mean, yeah, I used to think somewhat interchangeably between alternate universe and alternate timeline, because I used to kind of wonder what the difference was, but then I think a while ago I kind of personally came to the conclusion that like an alternate universe might be a universe where everything is different from the beginning, like from the Big Bang and from evolution onwards, like to the present day, things are different, but then alternate timeline was where you change one thing and then that spawns off like a whole other thing, but apparently that might mean the same thing now, and alternate universe and alternate timeline can probably be used interchangeably as phrases for the same freaking definition. So there's that, but then they did kind of confirm in this one that like an alternate, I still can't, I think I need to actually go back and check it and see if they use timeline or universe, because I feel like they're both interchangeable, but I don't know if which one they actually used. Okay, so he did say in like every choice you make spins out a different timeline into the cosmos, but now there are infinite parallel universes. So they're like it being, because it's called the multiverse theory and not the multi-line theory or the multi-timeline theory. So multiverse is like other universes that then formulate and evolve around that one single choice you make. So yeah, because then what if still contains entire universes that surround a different choice that's actually made. So yeah, so then like a timeline is created, but then like an entire universe forms on that timeline. So I for now that's the definition I'm going with. If you got a better one, then comments are open, have at it. But Deke was proof that they then like actually make it into the future to actually kind of do what they do. Like they have their daughter, and then their daughter gets married to Owen, and then they both have Deke. So Deke is proof that they live beyond the destruction of Earth and everything. To an extent anyway, because then like they went far enough into the future that they were nowhere to be found. But then I think they did kind of raise the interesting question of like if they do prevent that future from happening, so then what does happen to Deke? Like maybe then Deke kind of stays here, or does he get erased? But then it's like he didn't get born because the Earth got destroyed. Like he was born because Fitzsimmons' daughter met Owen, and they both made him. So then, would they still meet if the Earth isn't in the state that it's in? Assuming that they still met on the lighthouse in the post-apocalyptic Earth that was under Kree rule and everything. So assuming they still met that way. But then he was also, I think he said he was the last, or like one of the last kind of natural births to occur. That's just like how he fits into the future of the human race, but then, or like at least in that timeline. But then it's like it's not like that's not the only way he can be born, right? Because then if like he still has to get born eventually, but then it depends. Like I think, because I mean, even if like Fitzsimmons' daughter doesn't meet Owen, Deke will still be born. He just might not be Deke. He would like him. It would still be that, like, if it makes sense, like it will still be that same person, just maybe with a different identity, maybe with a different name, like a different identity, different life. And he'd still be alive, but just maybe not as him. You know, or he could even be a her in a different timeline. You know, you never know. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know if time of conception, like if you're conceived like maybe like a minute earlier, like you kind of change genders, or if you know become something else, I don't know, but I don't know, because the thing is it's all kind of down to kind of chance and like genetic kind of mix up and combination, all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. But the Earth is destroyed and then he's born. You know, like the parents, like his parents just have to meet. If your parents are separated, then that means that you never get born, or maybe you get born like a different way or something, or get born as like an entirely different person. and stuff. So yeah, but then their theory is that like if the Earth like is actually saved and that future never happens, then maybe that means that Deke actually gets erased from time, and that means that they're safe. But you know, at least the way I take it, it's not. So, and plus, I like, contrary to however Fitz feels about him or thinks about him, I do kind of like him. Sure, he has like a very, very kind of conflicting and very, very troublesome and dark past and everything. But you know, Deke is cool. I want to keep Deke. I want to keep Deke. So, you know, and Gemma seems to get along with him perfectly fine too. So. There's that. He was sent back accidentally too, so then, you know, he, there's nothing binding him to the future in that way, so then, literally, like, for him, as long as his genetic history is still intact, I feel like nothing can really kind of happen to him, so it doesn't feel like we can lose him simply because they saved the Earth from being destroyed or anything, so, like, literally, as long as his genetic history is still one piece, I feel like maybe that's the main thing we actually need to take care of and everything. So, and then yeah, we had Daisy kind of being kind of out of episode for most of it too. I don't know if that was like an actual conscious kind of choice from the writers, or maybe if like Chloe herself kind of had other commitments. I think it always kind of feels fairly divisible between like the writers decided not to include them for so long in this one, or maybe like the actor themselves kind of had other things to attend to, or other commitments to attend to, so then because of that they couldn't have actually they actually couldn't be in this one in like an episode for too long. So with this one, I think Daisy was there for like the first 10 maybe 15 minutes, and then after that she actually had to, story wise at least, she had to actually go off and hunt down that lead from Tony Kane, aka Candyman. I mean, hearing Candyman now, all I can think of is the actual movie and everything, which I have seen the new one with Yahya Abdul-Mateen, and I've also seen the original one with Tony Todd too. Both of them are great. Both of them are so good. So such good movies. I saw the Yahya Abdul, the new one first, which didn't really kind of hinder my experience too much. I think it's just still made for like two great kind of interconnected stories and everything. So yeah, but hearing, you know, the name in this kind of made me think of that. So, you know, now I'm very, very, very conscious about actually kind of hearing that name too many times, or actually even saying it, God forbid, too many times. But no, so Tony Kane, Mac's very, very dear friend and old kind of S.H.I.E.L.D. contact, kind of made a rise again, and he found some leads on the cybertech stuff that he promised to actually have a look into and everything. So he mentioned that like Garrett used the Centipede serum too, but then he also used like something else that was some other kind of like healing element that Hydra that he said one the Nazis worked on, but then the only Nazis I can actually imagine working with mysterious elements or chemicals or serums like that is Hydra. So he mentioned that them having worked with us, so then that couldn't possibly have been the DGH or anything, because then that came about after New York. So then it does still make me wonder how it actually showed up on the map too, and how she was able to decipher what it meant. But then ultimately that led her back to none other than Jiaying's grave, her own mother's grave. So I think Jiaying has a grave. Don't know if they revealed that before, but Jiaying has a grave. She has a grave somewhere in. Can't remember exactly what happened to her body, like if they actually did bury that, or if they just kind of lost it or got rid of it or something. But you know, either it's going to be buried with her or it's going to be buried somewhere else. But then yeah, I think like some special healing element worked on by the Nazis. So I wonder what that could be, because then it being buried with Jiaying, I think it maybe did kind of make me wonder, like could it be Terrigen crystals? I mean, maybe he did something with Terrigen, but then that wouldn't work on humans. I think any Terrigen you get from Jiaying too would be laced with the actual diviner kind of metal in it too, so it definitely kind of wouldn't work on humans. But then if like with Garrett, because he had the Centipede serum, like would that have made a difference? Like would that have actually offered him like, extra protection, or would that have actually still kind of offered zilch or something? So I don't know, but I think as villains and as antagonists, they were definitely terrifying, definitely lethal. Like them being literal bringers of darkness, and I think because of like as an intimidation factor, but then also because of the fact that they actually have excellent night vision, as Deke pointed out too. So they literally see better in darkness, and then because of that they bring darkness with them. Like that alone is badass too. Like they literally bring along what makes them stronger, and the killer via claws and everything. Like they have claws and stuff that literally pierce you apart and just gut you entirely. So that was like a scary sight to see too. Like lights going out and then you just hear flesh tearing and people just, gasping for air and choking on blood and everything. So they made for terrifying villains. So there was that. And then, yeah, I think as soon as they came along and the base is obviously on full lockdown too, so then there's almost nowhere they can go, and they also kind of like in bring the darkness with them too. They can cut out and they jammed all communications, all comms to the outside world, but then also with their powers they can actually cut out electricity, so no lights, no power, no walkie-talkies eventually either, and stuff. So they bring like a lot of death and kind of damage and disruption with them, and then in their wake they leave death. So, and yeah, the ending, gosh damn, the ending, those last 10 minutes were powerful. Those last 10 minutes were fucking powerful. Like, let me tell you, like, as soon as Talbot saw the machine, I had a feeling some shit's about to go down. He sees the machine, he probably has like an idea of what it can do, because it definitely looks like a transformation chamber, and he probably even remembers reading about something similar in the Captain America files, if there are any, or if he's ever had access to any and everything. So he kind of has like an idea of what it does, and he knows that the Gravitonium is in here too, and maybe, just maybe, he knows about the whole Ruby stuff that went down, if anyone told him. So either way, he feels the machine, then he sees the machine, and then he uses the machine. So yeah, but then as soon as he iced Gemma too, I figured, oh, okay, now no one's there to stop him. He's gonna, juice himself up with Gravitonium, and it's gonna go horribly wrong and everything. So he took it all in. He took every last drop of that Gravitonium in, and he handled it like a boss. He seemed to be able to handle it like a boss and everything. And it does leave me on, because then, like, almost everyone else, well, I say everyone else, like Creel and Ruby both showed effects, both showed the negative after effects of the Gravitonium straight afterwards. Like, I think even Creel having powers beforehand too, even he seemed affected by it, and then Ruby also too. So then, but now thinking about it now, it does make me wonder, like, like Talbot already was kind of mentally actually degrading somewhat because of what he'd already been through. Like, he'd already been through the bullet wound injury, and then Hydra's kind of further brainwashing too. So then he was already bouncing between minds and bouncing between voices in his head, and he was already kind of having trouble focusing and actually kind of being himself and actually being, present in the moment and things. So then, because of that, because of how fractured his mind already was, makes me wonder then, maybe if it couldn't affect him because of how fractured his mind already was, or maybe if maybe that was what finally kind of took away the instability he actually kind of had to begin with. So I don't know, but either way, it had no effect on him at all. And then he weirdly enough, he actually seemed stronger and more clear-headed than ever before. Like, he actually kind of he looked like he actually knew what he was doing. But then what he was doing didn't really kind of seem to be too kind of clear as to whether he was there to save them or to destroy them or what happened. But like that scene of him slow-moing his way into the control room too, and actually just kind of actually pulverizing each and every one of the Romulans left was just, honestly, it was a killer scene. It was an absolutely killer scene. So that too, like we saw what Ruby did to Alex with 8%, but Talbot with 100% just absolutely pulverizes them, and just like I want to say atomizes so badly because it sounds so much cooler, but then still what he did, like arms and bones were snapping, and they were snapping so that the bodies could get smaller. Like they weren't snapping in a way to do in like they weren't snapping like Vecna from Stranger Things, but they were snapping so that the body could actually make space to curl up into a little kind of contorted ball and everything, and just kind of be that. So we also don't know if the Gravitonium actually fixed his mental state, or if it maybe changed it to something completely different. So maybe before he had all these different voices in his head bouncing around and actually kind of not giving him any clear thoughts. But now he has one mindset, and that's kind of the one mindset being powered by the Gravitonium, being powered by power, being driven by power, and everything. And even if the voices of Hall and Quinn are still in his head, maybe then in him they're more balanced, or maybe in him they're kind of like a bit quieter and stuff, because then they finally found someone, because then like the Gravitonium has finally found someone who can actually harness the full power of it and everything. So that alone makes Talbot like a much more kind of intriguing and much more kind of worthy host of it. So maybe then the Gravitonium itself, the Gravitonium itself might actually react more positively and more kind of like and less lethally because of that. So, but yeah, I think for now that might be it. That's pretty much all I've kind of written down and everything, and it feels like I've covered most, if not all, the things that happened in the episode. So yeah, a good one, an absolute whopper. So yeah, for now, that is it. Any kind of theories you have, any kind of thoughts and feelings you want to share about how you felt about the episode and how you felt about the way things are moving forward and the pace and how you kind of feel about these last few episodes being whatever the hell they might be next. Leave your thoughts and feelings in the comments below, and yeah, we can all kind of share any and all emotions coming up in the next few episodes and everything. So yeah, it's going to be fun, as per usual. So yeah, but that is pretty much it for now. So that was Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5, Episode 19. So thank you guys, as always, so much for being here and for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then feel free to leave a like and comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next time on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. For those interested, the full-length reaction will be available over on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there. And yeah, that is pretty much it. So until next time, bye-bye for now.